team, Octane, Incube, welcomes you. In first episode, we had introduction and importance of the Perseverance Mars mission, past and future Mars missions. In this episode, we will talk details about launch, timing of launch and human transfer orbit. Even number of videos would be less, for going in detail about the mission, so we should focus on prime things to get idea of the projects. First, starting with launch vehicle. A launch vehicle provides the velocity needed by a spacecraft to escape Earth's gravity, and set it on its course for Mars.
5, 4, engine ignition, 2, 1, 0. Relay and liftoff.
The Mars 2020 mission was designed to launch at a time when Earth and Mars are in positions in their orbits that is advantageous for spacecraft traveling to and landing on Mars. Contrary to the point-and-shoot idea, an actual trip to Mars looks very roundabout for a typical minimum cost trajectory. This, by the way, is called a human transfer orbit, and is the mainstay of interplanetary space travel. It depends on the details of the orbit you take between the Earth and Mars. The typical time during Mars's closest approach to the Earth every 1.6 years, is about 260 days. Again, the details depend on the rocket velocity and the closeness of the planets, but 260 days is the number I hear most often, give or take 10 days. Some high-speed transfer orbits can make the trip in as little as 130 days. In the 9 months it takes to get to Mars, Mars moves a considerable distance around in its orbit, about 3/8 of the way around the Sun. You have to plan ahead to make sure that by the time you reach the distance of Mars orbit, that Mars is where you need it to be. Practically, this means that you can only begin your trip when Earth and Mars are properly lined up. This only happens every 26 months. That is, there is only one launch window every 26 months. Just like you have to wait for Earth and Mars to be in the proper position before you head to Mars, you also have to make sure that they are in the proper position before you head home. That means you will have to spend 3-4 months at Mars before you can begin your return trip. All in all, your trip to Mars would take about 21 months, 9 months to get there, 3 months there, and 9 months to get back. All these are just a small heading for so-called rocket science, or say interstellar science. For Percy, launch vehicle was United Launch Alliance, Atlas V541, and was launched on July 30, 2020. From a launch site, Space Launch Complex 41, Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, Florida. Height with payload was 191 feet, 58 meters, and its mass, fully fueled, with spacecraft on top was 531,000 kilograms. In the next episode, we will talk about landing on Mars, often called 6 minutes of terror, and associated details.